Yes.
You finished your investigation into the murder. You found and confronted the culprit, and you brought them to justice, ending that chapter of your mission. With that, your contract with the Order, as Tron said, is completed. After you returned to Polythreme, something else happened. A dark day. Polythreme was, in fact, attacked. Or more so, Quartermains, which remained standing, even after the attackers wiped out a large force of Polythreme's finest. After which, you returned to Quartermains and went to sleep. And there you went. Waking this morning feels like rising from a fever dream. Your mind is still processing the previous day's events. You're entirely unsure if what you experienced really did happen. Distant, you hear faint murmuring of a conversation.
Show must go on.
Why does Bava has
I know.
a calculator on her?
Oh, I was gonna be like sleeping down there.
Oh,
Okay.
that happened last time too in a game. It was a weird glitch. Beggar, can you see the calculator this time?
No.
I can see the calculator.
Then you copy and paste again.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Yes,
Yes.
it's gone.
Okay.
Maybe Fava just
So, I
enjoys
don't know how that happened.
maths.
Well, I guess I'll just be standing here all night.
Why? Because no one told you where you could sleep.
You could just crashed on a couch in here.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one Kara's room was. Was it
Change
this one or
my-
was it this one?
No, I slept in.
Poor Fava hasn't been welcomed.
This is Kara's.
Yeah.
I was sleeping in the library.
I'm probably already awake. Just kind of looking around.
As a curiosity, Evelyn, where did you leave Kieran?
He was with me in the library.
But where did you put him when you went to sleep?
Normally in my lap.
Okay. Evelyn, as you wake up, something catches your eye as you wake. You wouldn't have noticed, groggy as you are, except for the shadow. Something slowly falling in front of the light of the fireplace. Give me a second. I had to drink something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You rub the sleep out of your eyes. Whatever fell, it was right in front of you. You look at the ground in front of you. You look at your lap. There's nothing. But then you see Kieran. He is in your lap where you left him. But the folded note in his hands was not there before.
I take the note and look at it.
As you take the note, you can see that along one of its edges, it is torn. And as you unfold it, you realize that it is a page torn from a large book. As you read the handwritten entry, something wrenches in your gut, and you pale as you read the exact description of the steps you took to construct Kieran, down to the last detail. From the light, something shines through the page from the other side and you flip the note around. The page is blank, save for a few words. Finish what you started. Kill Brago and we may talk. Underneath, it is signed with a large, elaborate C and nothing else.
A C?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to pocket the note, pick up Kieran, glance over at the woman, and then quickly make my way to my room.
Good morning, good night.
Make your way to your room.
I don't even pause to say anything.
No,
you just
poor
see-
Fava, I just is so sad.
There's something in her eyes where she's just focused and she just walks straight past you, as if you were a statue or a picture on the wall. Red, as you wake, you hear outside footsteps and the closing of a door right next to yours.
I'm going to start shuffling boxes around to get to the metal box that I have in the corner.
Okay, that takes you like a minute or so. There, you piled up some heavy stuff,
Mm-hmm.
some covering stuff in the way, but you managed to make your way to the box.
Anytime I get up and go over to the mirror, give myself a little pep talk. When I head out for the day. All right, yeah, you're looking good. Yeah, all right. Listen, I know that was crazy. You got this. Show goes on. All right. Oh boy.
I'm going to start while I'm messing with this box. I know that I already know that it needs something that I don't have. But I'm still trying to mess with any way to see if I can figure out how to open the box. That's just what I'm doing in my free time for a moment.
Okay, give me an Arcana check.
Can I be using my tools to mess with it
assuming
while
you
I'm... Yeah, okay. Oh, hold on. I forgot to pre-roll my dice. I'm just going to do that a couple times real quick. Not real to rolling.
I'm glad this has gone on.
Okay. That is going to be a... 24.
Through your studies of this box, you've determined that it's definitely a magical lock. As such, you'd probably need a magical means of unlocking this.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at these 3 doors. Think about it a minute and start heading towards Slay's room.
I don't know how long that took me, Beggar, but eventually after working that out and thinking about it a bit more, I'm going to go downstairs. I don't know if anybody else is doing anything in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tap softly on the door.
Yes?
I'll just crack and come in.
As you come in, you can see him holding his backpack, and he's packing. Like everything he owns. Like he's in a hurry.
I'll just watch you for like a couple seconds. You headed out?
Aren't we all? We should, like, leave this place, like, forever? Like, not
Go
be
where?
connected to this place at all?
You seem like you got pretty shook up by that last night.
Well, have you seen them? This is nothing we
Yeah.
should even slightly approach.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. I did see them. Yes. But you know, I've also seen you in action. And as horrible as that was, I think perhaps you underestimate yourself.
Well, I might be good with my sword, but even I can't cut a single word that kills me.
That's true, but that being said, this place did stand. Not much else around here did, so I don't know. Where do you think's safer than here?
I feel like safest is just not be a part of Quartermains at the moment.
I don't know that not to not to I don't know, disconcert you more, but I'm not all that sure that we have a choice anymore. Apparently there's magical people just showing up to stop in time and looking around at us, doing things. Pretty sure that they know who we are.
For a moment there he stops packing and looks at you. So what do you suggest?
Me? I don't suggest anything. I'm not that smart. That's why I believe in all of you. Like I said, I've seen you in action, and what you do with these blades, it's pretty terrifying. I'm sure when and if we face them, they won't know what hit them.
That sounds incredibly naive.
Maybe so. He comes over, looks at your rapiers, looks at his own. Maybe so. At the very least, it seems like we need something better to hit them with. I don't know about you, but mine didn't even tickle them in that last fight. Surely there must be something that can protect us, like you said, from, well, whatever they did. I don't quite know what that would be, but what with all the wizards leaving the city and Reginald being the only one left, I mean,
Don't we
clearly
just
he might be able to help us.
why don't we just let the mages like take care of this and just stay out of this whole mess? Why is this the only way you think should approach this?
I mean, by the mages, you mean Evelyn and Reginald?
No, like the people in charge of the Magic Academy and the people who are in charge of the whole city.
Well, if you hadn't noticed from that last investigation, the people in charge of the city don't exactly seem... well, they seem self-interested.
Well, the good part about selfish, corrupt people is they want to keep their power. And if something like this happens and people like this appear, I feel like they are threatened on a personal level. Would probably take care of this.
Maybe so. But what do you want?
Look, I just joined Quartermains to make a little bit of cash and do my thing. I didn't want to be involved in like immortality and powerful super beings that can kill with a single word.
Well, that's what you didn't want.
Exactly.
But I don't think you answered my question. What do you want? You just want to roam forever on your own?
I'm searching for someone.
Yeah. I can relate to that. You have any clues?
He looks like you got him there a little bit. Well, not yet.
Yeah, I know how that feels too. That's why I stick around. I found some people. You know what I mean?
But don't you
You can
think...
search for somebody
Yeah,
for a long time.
but don't
Maybe
you...
you should realize who you already have.
That might be true, but don't you sometimes feel like that might be even the reason why you haven't found any clues yet? Because you just got too far away from your path?
I don't know. It's a good question. That being said, I do feel like we all make each other better, and I've certainly improved. So I feel like I am closer. In a way, at least closer in terms of knowing how to look better, knowing how to go about a search,
Yeah,
how to live life with people.
Soleil looks to the ground slightly, then smiles slightly. Well, I have to admit, we are a pretty good team.
That's true, and besides, I still need to finish your song. You can't leave.
He smiles even more. Well, actually, yeah, that's something I wouldn't want to miss.
Yeah, I got a couple verses so far. I don't know what
And
you
he
gotta hear 'em now.
drops his backpack for now and... Okay, fine. But if there's gonna be no plan or something,
Oh, I'm sure there'll be a plan. I haven't talked to Evelyn yet, but I'm sure there's at least 2 or 3 already.
well then I guess it doesn't hurt if I'm gonna wait a little bit more before I leave. At least I hope so. As he looks out of his window and sees probably still a destroyed surrounding.
Okay.
Well, from your window, actually.
Oh,
you
it's only
don't
that
see
side on the
any
front?
destruction. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all perspective.
And it's like a metaphor as he looks out of the window.
Mm-hmm. Well, unless we're gonna stand here and... I don't know.
Let's see what the others are up to then.
All right.
Do I see Thava as we leave the room?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Probably.
Oh, good morning,
Right.
Thava.
Morning.
See, it can't be that bad, Soleil, if someone who doesn't know us at all... Well, actually, I look at Thava a bit, and how's she looking?
Well, she doesn't have any bags to pack.
But I mean, in terms of expression, or...
Pretty blank, probably. Maybe a little lost. I've just been standing in the hallway. I didn't know if any room was available.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Wait, you haven't
I didn't want
slept
to
at all?
intrude. I slept.
Standing there?
No, I sat.
I'm so sorry. Yes, there's 2 rooms available.
Oh,
I would usually have taken. I'm so sorry.
it is
Morning,
fine.
Ablin.
These past few months have been worse.
That's true. You could have slapped nailed to a tree or whatever.
Well, with an axe in my chest, it was not comfortable.
Understandable.
You hear murmuring coming from the common room, Evelyn. Give
All
me
right.
a perception to determine how much you hear.
Well, I did roll again just to double check because I remembered. All of my checks are disadvantage for ability checks. So we'll see.
Didn't you have a long rest? No?
I had 2 points of exhaustion.
Oh right.
Yeah, she was double
So
down.
I'm to 1 point. So
Right.
it's a 8.
You hear a deep voice. You hear Reginald occasionally. He speaks quietly. You can't understand what he's saying at all. But as you get close to the door, you just at the end hear. Thank you, Reginald.
Is the door open or?
Well, it's not locked, but the door itself is closed.
All right, I just push open the door, head in.
In the common room sits with Reginald opposite a bishop. The figure is comically large, and even on the wide couch, the seat looks kind of small. The couch bearing the weight bends slightly under the pressure. The bishop, however, rises to his feet as you enter and bows slightly. His voice echoes through the helmet. Greetings. I am Bishop. Forgive me for not removing my helmet. You may not be familiar with my order. I am nothing save my duty. I am no one but a bishop. I was there with you at the observatory when the comet fell, and I died defending Polythreme yesterday. Say, where is the rest of the Quartermain's crew?
Other upstairs. You look rather lively for someone that died.
Well, all of the bishops are bishop.
Ah,
We are
I see.
one, even though we are different.
I see. Well, Reginald, I had some questions for you, but did you need me to get the others?
Yeah, I believe Mr. Bishop over here has a few things to say. Some questions, I'm sure.
Right. 1 moment. Go back up. Oh, everyone needs to come downstairs. There's a bishop here. That would like to talk to us.
Yep.
Okay.
Time to go, Kara.
Yes, as Soleil walks with Fava, he asks her, actually, I'm still surprised. I'm surprised that you're still here after all that happened.
Are you referring to the axe?
I'm referring to everything that happened since we met, actually.
Like that naked man?
Like those 3 people yesterday that killed half of the city.
Oh. That completely.
Naked man. Oh god.
She's still thinking about it.
It was pretty devastating.
Certainly was.
Too many lives that did not need to end.
Adventure calls. I don't know what else to say.
Adventure
Exactly.
with a big iron on my hip.
As you file in, the bishop standing there in the middle of the room gives you another deep bow, and
I should like to thank you all for the work you have done. I come to you because of the events that transpired yesterday. But be not wary, I come neither to accuse nor to pry. The dark day carried with it a lot of questions. Who they were, what god they serve, why the Celestials, and many more. If you have any information on the matter, please hold nothing back. Before the attack, late at night, some hunters at the gate delivered a severely burned individual to the guardsmen on duty. They claimed it had plummeted from the sky, that it was, in fact, the meteor. The hunters repeatedly mentioned Quartermains, and as there is no other wizards left in Polythreme, they complied. The body was delivered to Reginald Quartermain, a fortunate happenstance it would appear. Whatever wards Quartermains holds, they held. For the time being, the individual will remain in his care.
his gaze wanders to Reginald, who seems to have gone back to reading a book. The bishop takes a few steps forward and comes to a stop right in front of you.
Take care of one another. I knew Reginald as a brilliant man. Whatever it was that has happened to him since. For now, this place may be the safest in the city. But do not take the day's events lightly. A change is coming. Already there is doubt. People calling for a literal changing of the guard.
His gaze wanders to a newspaper that lies folded on the table.
I cannot say I blame them. There is little doubt in the failure of the guard. A tremendous loss. In the chaos of the hours after, a suit of armor and 3 spell blades have also been stolen. Should you come across them in the city, please also let us know.
What has been
Well-
stolen? Spell blades?
Spellblade.
Do we know what spell blades are, or would we be like completely confused?
You'd assume that he's talking about whatever gear the guardsmen were wearing.
Oh, okay.
So presumably it could be anyone that looks like you that we're looking for the stolen armor and weapons.
The armor requires more than just the suit to function. I do not think anyone without training could wear it well. But should anything happen in that regard, don't trust a single guardsman alone.
We are here.
Well, none of the bishop armors were stolen, but of course,
Just the guardsmen.
that is also coming from my mouth.
And you're a single guardsman alone.
Is a bishop.
Oh, I understand.
Are there any hints to who these people were?
None. From the words they spoke, they called the city a different name. A curious happenstance. We haven't quite figured out what it could mean.
Why are you ringing?
But like I say, if you have any information regarding that, do contact us.
How should we go about contacting you if anything comes up?
You can always call for a bishop from the guardsmen of the city.
The bishop already moves to step past you, but then he hesitates and turns back to you.
Do you care for the city, its people?
Well, I wouldn't want them to die.
Then I have a favor to ask of you. The guard is significantly weakened at the moment. Close to a third of us have been annihilated. If we are to have the means of survival, there is something I would like you to recover. In the early days of the Blight, an air shipment of armor and weapons was down near the front lines. It is there still. I would have you take the armor train north to recover the equipment, if you care to. The men at the train yard are informed, and you will be generously compensated. Take your time, deliberate for a few days if you will, and I thank you for your cooperation.
A moment before you leave. For this favor of yours, if we were to go to closer to the Blight, would we be able to obtain more information on the Blight prior to being in an area where we could be nearer to it?
The Blight is a curious thing. As I understand, many researchers have tried to understand it. Surely you would get more out of the Blight in its natural state than studying it on a table. However, I personally know nothing on the matter.
If we were to ask about a researcher, though, that would perhaps at least be able to give us some insights so we have some basis to go off of before going in.
As far as I know, there are none left in the city. Among the researchers were mostly wizards which have left. And the few researchers that have remained and not left on the Archaeon, well, some have decided on their own to set out and establish field office. I have not heard of any breakthroughs, otherwise I believe they might have returned to the city. But if you care to look at anyone's research, perhaps an archivist at the library may help.
That would be sufficient.
Good day, Reginald.
He nods. And Reginald looks up from his book. Yes. Good day to you, Mr. Bishop. Evelyn, you're not too sure about the people of the city, but the possibility of examining the guardsman's armor closer, or the chance that an airship sounds intriguing. Red, you also have seen airship docks in the upper district. They stand there, largely abandoned. In years, nobody has made use of them. Most of the airships were drafted and subsequently lost in the first year of the Blight, along with many of the engineers that made them. All in all, an incredibly expensive loss. Not many since have attempted to recreate an airship, and when they did, they've been rather unsuccessful. Soleil, you have seen an airship before. A large blimp that is anchored high above Antog. It is in fact where Baron Ornloff lives and lords over the farm city.
Hmm.
To you, Kara, the thought of flying on a ship does not sound particularly appealing. What if someone falls off, especially without wings?
Do they look more like Zeppelins, or how do they look, the airships in this world?
Somewhat like it. There have been different designs.
Okay.
Many look like ships you'd see at sea. Some powered by magic to fly. Many making use of balloons or various other Zeppelin-like
Hmm.
contraptions.
It looks like now.
Does that mean we are now allowed to talk to the bishops? Because before it was like very, very important not to talk to them, right?
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Seems much has changed overnight.
Well, I don't know if that was don't talk to the ones that are currently on duty outside the observatory. That's what it seemed like to me, but I might have misread that.
Reginald, are you familiar with the Blight?
Not so much. It's a good thing you've awoken, by the way. I have some letters for you. He
Letters?
points to the table. Next to
Oh.
the newspaper lie 2 letters. One opened from the Order of the Lycan, thanking you for your work. And one unopened, addressed to Red, stamped with the seal of the Song of Spire College. The messenger boy is still standing outside waiting. But first, your payment from the Order. Generously. They've paid each of you 600 gold.
Hmm.
But I do not believe there is one for your new friend. What's her name?
Tava.
No.
She's gonna stay with us for a while, if that's okay with you, Reginald.
No, of course. With Borgs at the forge. I mean, on a mission. And yeah, it's probably good to have more port now that Catherine has returned to the Order.
Who's on a mission?
Dorks.
Dorks.
Oh, yes, right.
Yes, secret mission.
Reginald, do you know anything about magical locks?
Oh, dabbled with arcane locks in my days.
If I came across one, do you think you'd be able to open it?
Which I should need a look, but there is a chance, of course.
Appreciate it. I'm not sure yet. I think I might come across one here in the future.
Sure.
Raises an eyebrow. I've opened and am reading the letter.
That's letter flip. And the newspaper on the table.
So cool.
Whoa, an actual newspaper.
Dava, have you been to to Polythreme before?
I have not, no. It's quite a first impression.
Yeah, just let me assure you, it's not always like this. And Kara has been pretty quiet so far. How does she look?
She's just kind of standing in the background, not really interacting with anyone.
Huh. So apparently, the ball that was to take place, in relation to our last mission and whatnot, still happening, but the entire band's canceled on them, and now this Vidar fellow, we never actually came across him. But he wants to keep it going and has actually requested, well, I guess myself, and it sounds like there might be a few other musicians that my friend's reaching out to, but I don't know if we're up for a ball and a job doing some entertainment and whatnot, but it pays, looks like 500 to 1,000 if we were to do well. It's tomorrow night, actually, so kind of short notice.
Tomorrow night?
Yes. Dusk tomorrow. It's no longer a masquerade ball, actually. That's out of the ordinary. Interesting.
There's
It's not really a
ghost.
time to be hiding a face.
No, yeah, certainly that seems to be what he's also realized.
I would appreciate if we could go there.
It might be a good chance to make some connections.
Yeah, think so too. And, I mean, earning a little bit of side money wouldn't hurt either.
No, 500 for an evening, that's pretty good.
Any thoughts on taking up the recovery of the air shipment of armor and weapons?
I mean, not directly about the weapons, but Soleil and I were comparing swords. I mean, we were talking about weapons earlier.
You go on.
You're talking about your swords, admiring them in the moonlight.
Did you like do a little fencing?
I mean,
A little sword fighting.
I don't know if the rest of you noticed, but in that last fight, man, my blade didn't do anything.
Yeah, mine either. Unfortunately, and he looks at Ablin like really thankfully. Yeah, Ablin was able to help me out there, but otherwise that would have been completely useless actually.
Then I could.
So I'd be very interested in some. Well, not that these weapons are bad, but some, I don't know, more enhanced weaponry that might be able to actually do something. Whether or not that's related to the shipment, I don't know.
So potentially we're looking at people are interested in going to the party tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
We could always pursue the recovery of the air shipment after that.
Yeah.
I mean, also the order paid well. If we find out something about Luncaster, who knows? Maybe they pay a little bit more.
Yeah, could be. It sounded like they thought they had it under control, but
Yeah, well, they thought.
I think the airship is the more important objective.
why's that?
Because it would help the guard.
That's true. That being said, you know, if we were looking to help the guard, it might not actually be that bad of an idea to, I don't know. Some of the more powerful houses and whatnot have their own private security here and there. Is this true, Beggar? I just assume that's...
Yeah.
The guard might well be able to use some of those if some of the houses were to, you know, provide a few each. Just for, you know, basic security.
It's unlikely. You'd have to really be convincing.
Yeah, perhaps, but I mean, I think that these are unlikely circumstances.
Not really sure what more guards would have done against those three, though.
No, but I mean, for general unrest and whatnot, if they've lost a third of their numbers, we don't want the city going to... Well,
True.
getting crazy just, you know, for regular reasons. Well, I'm more thinking I don't want the lower district getting crazy for regular reasons, while the upper district just sits up there and does their own.
Well,
No disrespect, I mean.
I know I'm still feeling a bit rough from our adventure. We're on the edges. So, maybe at least a couple of days before we head out to retrieve the air shipment, and then I'd be fine with doing that.
There's also a murder in the lower district.
Yes, I read that. We'll always look into that if we really wanted to. But we could probably go to both the party and then head out to the air shipment the day after, plan for that. The party's tomorrow night?
Yes.
Tomorrow night, so by then any errands or rest that we need to do before heading out on our trip would be done.
True.
We could always double check to see if we've gotten a bit more coin. You could see if there's more options in the city for anything supply-wise that you might need in a fight. I'm interested to go see if I can't talk to someone at the library, though, to see about any research that's out there on the Blight. Simply for purposes of knowing what sort of attacks or means of fighting work or don't work against it in advance.
Yeah. You could, I mean, I don't know if he might be willing to talk at this point. You could always ask around. It sounds like he has direct experience.
I was thinking about that as well. Someone who's had in-person experience could be a valid source of information.
Yeah.
I don't think that we're attempting to go out and deal with the Blight in our recovery, and would expect it unlikely, or not unlikely, if we came across a situation where we had to deal with it.
Yeah. Sounds reasonable.
So that would give me time to do some of that research. Does that work with everyone, or is there any outright objections?
No.
Kara?
No. Sounds good.
Right.
Yeah. One last question. Because I have forgotten. When we talked to Harold and he told us where the places we had to burn, did he promise us some kind of payment?
No, I believe it was just for the cause.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
But you know, we could always go back and double check, see how things are down that way. If we have extra time.
If we're going to a party, do I need something nice to wear?
Suppose that's what depends on what you're intending to go as.
I've never been to a party.
Oh, well.
Nor do I own anything other than what I'm wearing right now.
It should be easy enough to get you something appropriate to wear. It does question exactly how everyone's intending to go to the party. Rhett, what did your letter say?
It sounded like they needed musicians. They have one dancer left. That is part of the entertainment troupe, so they're just looking for entertainers, musicians.
I can be an acrobat.
I have a lyre, but I'm not very good with it.
That might help a little bit. One day isn't a whole lot, but I mean, if you want a little, we could work on a couple, things together. What about you, Kara? You've ever been to a party?
Yes. Probably.
That was a very doubtful yes.
Angel orgy.
Oh, God.
What?
What kind of party are we talking about?
You know, Dark Ritual is no party, Kara.
Drug binge and like a CD, like drug den count.
Sacrificing a sheep.
So what would you want to go to a party as?
I've never been to a party on this plane.
On this plane. How are parties on other planes?
Fun.
Well, I was going to reach out to my family and see if I couldn't attend with them. An escort wouldn't be out of place. If someone didn't want to be part of the entertainment.
It sounds like from what you said that Kara needs to keep at least the necklace on.
Right.
So, sure. Sounds like we're going shopping.
Yeah.
Beggar, when the bishop was talking about reaching out to an archivist at the library, was there a specific library he's talking about, or was that the observatory, or somewhere else?
There is a few libraries in the city, but you'd assume that he's talking about the archive, which is sort of a central bureaucracy kind of place in Polythreme, which sorts a lot of, research paper, material, that kind of thing.
Which tier of the city is that on?
That is on the medium.
Medium. Right, so some people are going to go shopping. I could probably go check in with some of my family members.
Yep.
And then maybe stop into the library today. Or tomorrow, depending on how time goes.
Sounds good. Is there anything, if you're going to do that while we shop, is there anything you want me to pick up?
Oh, just something to wear, I suppose, would be fine.
Okay.
I'm assuming you'll tend to the funds as per normal.
Not a problem. Did funds, is there a bag of...
Yeah, was there money?
What was the actual money here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, every one of you can basically, except Thelma, unfortunately, can add 600 gold to your inventory.
So 100 gold to the inventory.
Yes. Red carries all my money. Not all of it, but you tend to my money. Do my bidding.
Well,
Bidding
then it's
being-
1,200 gold. to
Yes.
yours.
Man, if he gets pickpocketed,
He better not be walking around with all that money.
I mean, I'll have to today, but
You should not be spending 1,200 today.
listen.
someone's gonna put
to
a
the
bucket
money.
on his head and crouch behind him.
He's gonna come back. Look, I got a magic sword. I went shopping.
For some reason, every thief in the city's ear suddenly twitches.
And they all get a bucket.
This
Right.
is where I missed Dorks in that nice bag.
Cora, I'm sure if you went with Rhett, he'd be able to help you find something as well. If you needed.
Oh yes, I do have.
Uh,
You'll have to come up to my room too. My makeup kit, it is top of the line.
something appropriate, at least. It could be at my expense. If you don't have anything that you think you should wear.
I don't think I have any fancy gowns.
Just tell Rhett to take care of it then.
Sure.
Well, we could. I mean, if you do want to go as a guard, you can get your armor detailed actually, and there's some lovely gold inlay that they'll do if you want to actually go. You know.
Even as a guard,
Yeah.
still there's a bit of normal attire that goes with it to at least be more event oriented than practical. Everyone loves their money and show of wealth at these events
you
generally.
usually wear some type of surcoat over the armor a little bit.
With my armor, can I wear it under my clothing? Yeah, I can.
You have mithril, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I can just
So
wear
mithril
a
is very
gown.
form-fitting.
Yeah.
So you could either wear some form of armor or a dress or whatever else gathers your fancy.
Red. Could you give me a quick intelligence roll?
I can. I also can't.
From past experience, you would also know that previously, when you had been hired for things for the Songspire Guild, you had very little problem smuggling people in. Most of the time when, a band or someone shows up as a musician, they kind of just let you pass, even if there's a few people more than they would have been expecting.
No one pays attention to the little people.
Kind of.
Okay.
No one pays attention to the people who bring a good time.
Ooh. Kara, I already know what you're gonna do.
Also, Evelyn, you possibly also still wanted to identify quartermates.
Yes. That's why I want 2 days. There's a long list of things.
Yeah, there's a couple of objectives now.
There's just like this whole list that keeps growing and adding on.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good. It's good. I'm just.
Wow.
It's making me make choices. I'm like, oh crap. That was the reason I pushed it out. For let's go out longer. I need more time.
Side quests.
Yes. I must complete every quest.
There's that one at the bottom that's literally just stairs in the basement.
Someone rings at the door. Another settlement needs your help.
Reginald, I did have a couple more questions for you to go over. Just some curious things, thoughts I had.
Yes, questions, of course.
But I don't need to hold up everyone else if you need to either. Well, we haven't had breakfast yet, so I'm not sure if you're heading out before or after.
If Aelith is still here, that brave man. I'll go check.
Mm-hmm.
Reginald, I was curious about the wards on the house.
Words?
The wards, the security you have on the house, and I thought it might be interesting endeavor to try and identify the building.
Oh, maybe. I don't remember what kind of there was words on the house.
Did you buy it or did
Suppose
you
there
build
must
it?
be.
Well, there obviously was some form of protection.
Don't quite remember. I think I've always had it.
So you were born with this building?
Of course not as phosphorus. I don't quite remember.
I see. Well then,
Did you want to assist me?
I'll leave.
Reginald.
I'll leave you to it, Ablin. I'm gonna trust you in this.
Oh, if you require my assistance, you have
I
to
just-
go home, of course.
Thought it's a bit big of an object to identify. Actually, Reginald, before we go,
Yes.
Yeah.
Reginald,
you walking away.
Soleil, you leave out the front door.
Yes.
As you leave
No.
out the front door, you see a young boy standing by the side of the
Yes,
door.
someone has to give a message
And as you
back.
step outside, he holds his hand in your direction, his open hand, and he looks at you. Your response, sir?
It was the response for the Bard College, right?
I just poked my head in, but I can hear this, so come on.
Yeah. He's gonna take care of it. He points at Red behind him and just walks
okay,
past.
sir.
I'll hand over a brief note saying yes, basically.
He pockets the notes and nods and just runs straight off.
I was gonna tip him. Oh,
please, sir. Spare me some pins.
oh. Oh well.
Reginald, I wanted to make sure I still recalled the entire ritual correctly. Do you mind if I just, for practice purposes, casted it on you?
Oh. I must say, I've never been identified before, but sure, go ahead.
Oh my god.
There's nothing wizard should have to hide.
Right. It's just
He
It's been a while.
rummaging through his
Mhm.
pockets.
Yeah, I'm gonna-
I do.
start working on identifying him, setting up ritual identify Reginald.
Is he an
He
item?
looks at you.
Reginald.
You just sort of place candles around him, and he's kind of fidgety after like 5 minutes or so, because it takes a while.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes.
He just sort of looks around. For a moment, it looks like he almost forgot what he was doing and starts walking off before he almost like trips over a candle and is right.
Just a couple more minutes, Reginald.
And after 10 minutes, you have identified Reginald.
So if he's under if there's a spell affecting him, that's essentially if I'm casting it on a creature, I learn what spells, if any, are currently affecting it.
You see, or you feel at least, that his robes carry a large amount of magical residue, probably from years of casting spells. All of it is, sort of like after images of spells cast. Nothing active, nothing potent. You learn that Reginald is a medium humanoid, a wizard, and oddly enough, you can't quite gauge in terms of his strength. He seems surprisingly mundane. You wouldn't expect that of a wizard who supposedly was once a great wizard. He seems more like your average caster. But yeah, that's all you learn. Don't seem to be any active spells or
Okay.
enchantments on him.
I'm just curious. Yeah, just was curious. All right. Yep, that seems to work. I feel more
Yeah.
confident.
Didn't say anything about my bad back. I was wondering, there was a couple of spells I cast in my youth that could have been when they affected how my body is. And perhaps it is just time and age, I suppose. But
I
you never
didn't-
know.
Didn't seem to show up, but there's some magics out there that always like to keep hidden.
Time is a cruel mistress.
It is.
You'll never grow old.
I don't plan to.
Curious. I suppose.
All right.
And I'm going to just, so now it's going to work on trying to get candles set up around the entire structure to identify.
Right.
So we know.
Candles.
So if you wanted to assist, that would be extraordinarily helpful.
Yes, there's a box in the kitchen. I probably make a lot of candles.
I wish. All I identified in was Reginald has a bad back.
Loves carrots. Sings in the shower. In the kitchen, you see at the very beginning, there's this large box underneath one of the shelves, and he rummages through it and pulling out candle after candle. There's a lot of candles in there.
Perfect. That's what I'm planning on doing for a little bit. Everyone else, do your thing. If you
I
want.
missed it. Did Soleil head out on his own?
I
You
think
can
so.
check if he's still out there.
Oh.
He's not. Yeah, you
Basically, by the time you handed over the notes,
yeah, he just
linked in
started
the
off.
corner.
I'll find him.
You're fairly certain he left his bags.
So Thava, you like shopping?
I mean, I haven't done it that much.
Not big at stores at wherever your town was, or
It was just a small town.
oh, okay. Is Kara still in the study?
She will probably go back. Would follow you. She can come with you shopping. Nothing better to do.
Let's get by some shoes.
Oh my god!
That shit's raw.
She's not sure if she trusts Rhett's taste.
Hey, Nat.
Wow.
Wow.
Look how fabulous he is. He has a cowboy hat on.
Come on.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can't go wrong with it.
Put you in some nice boots.
Oh, yeah. And some assless chaps.
Listen, the rest of his
Please no.
outfit's fine. The hat just doesn't quite match. The rest of his clothes are tasteful. And we're off. I'm hoping that I kind of have an idea where the shopping area is.
Well, you have to do shopping generally for Evelyn, I'm assuming. When
Right,
she's
that's what I
like,
mean.
oh
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, a city as large as Polythreme, there is stores everywhere. If you were to look for something more specific like alchemy or perhaps even magical items, of which there are not that many in the city, there's more specific places you'd go to.
So, I mean, I do want to look for clothes, but I am interested in. I don't know about magical, but perhaps like the more fine weaponry.
Yeah, maybe at least
maybe
silvered
magical.
or something.
Yeah.
So for both magical and more fine weaponry, you'd probably have to go to the lower district. There is a large store really close to the forges, sort of in that central raised aisle where the forges reside, called the Emporium. The reason it is in the lower is because they don't really care much about image or anything. They like to be close to their supplier, for one, and second, it only matters how much gold you have. Doesn't really matter where you come from.
And being in the lower district, it is sure to be frequented by pickpockets. I already feel it.
It's
That's out of character. Yeah. So which do you want to do first? I was thinking about, like I said, looking for some weaponry. But of course, we also need to get you some outfits and other equipment.
We can get the weapons first so we don't have to carry the bags of clothing
Reasonable.
the whole city.
I don't love carrying this much money down into the lower district, but we'll watch each other's pockets, okay?
Yes, we can protect that money.
That's why you split the funds up
I mean,
in different bags on your person. That's what you're supposed to do when you're traveling out of country anyways.
listen,
Don't you know anything, Salty?
Why don't we put it someplace hard to get?
yes. That's a good idea. Do you have any ideas? Usually, I do keep it in several places on my.
I could put it in my armor.
That sounds reasonably hard to get to, sure.
How big would this money pouch be?
How big is 1,500
It's-
gold?
Quite a bit.
Well, the 1500 one is quite sizable. Like the 600 one, I'd say is roughly the size of a honeydew melon, like a small one.
Why'd you have to say something so obscure? I need to Google it. Honeydew.
I was going for
melon.
something I thought everyone would know. Let's hold on. Let me
I've never heard of a honeydew melon.
what's
Oh,
something
I mean-
more,
Like a grapefruit? Maybe?
No.
well, like 1.5 grapefruits.
I don't know how big a grapefruit is.
Oh, come on. God.
Is it like a baseball?
Seems like
Do
you
not
need
eat
to
fruit.
expand your.
Look, I have no idea how
Size
big
of
a baseball is.
Of a like medium-sized teapot. I don't listen. Okay, I'm out of ideas. Just
Like a football
Like a
size.
football, yeah.
American football.
Is
Football's
it, is it
pretty
like a
big.
cantaloupe? Is it like a
football's pretty
cantaloupe?
big. I'd say like 75% of a football.
The football without the like edges.
The center
Oh.
mass of a football?
Oh my god.
This kind of sounds like a discussion from like Monty Python.
I can't.
An American or a European swallow?
Well, an American or European football. Okay, anyway. I was gonna put some of it in my loot here because it's pretty dang hard to get in and out of with all the strings and whatnot.
So you just like coin after coin, throw them into the loot.
Just imagine taking that out though. Like, hold on, shake, 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 shake.
No, I just put it like a couple hundred in the loot. Enough
Okay.
that I can slip my hand in. I'll hand like
It's kinda-
700 to Thava.
It's a little bit loud though. As soon as you move the loot, you kind of hear the.
I figured I could slip a very small bag.
Oh yeah, a small bag. Yeah.
How much did you give me?
700.
Okay, I will attempt to shove that somewhere under my armor.
Just on your stomach.
Yeah, sure. Just really cram it in there.
Hold on. Where's your pawn? Let me.
Oh, what are you doing?
Ugh.
There's not a lot of hiding places in that. If you,
You
have,
know,
like,
if you
full
pretend to be
plates-
pregnant, maybe they'll give you a discount.
give me a sleight of hand.
Can I
Just
help?
put it in a couple smaller bags.
Let a hand.
Can I potentially help?
Oh! It's 19.
Okay. It's good enough. Yeah, you kind of managed to, sort of flatten the bag and sort of shove it into the side of your belt. Not on, like hanging on the outside, but sort of squashed between the armor and your belt.
I will keep my shield on my arm and my hand where it is, so that I can always feel it and the
Okay.
shield's in front of it.
Yeah.
Stress.
You're not getting robbed.
This is my favorite part so far.
Definitely getting robbed, but it'll be like a
There's
bag
gonna
of
be
200.
0 pickpockets.
So yeah, I got 200 in my loot, and then a couple hundred in other.
Just
little
out of curiosity, what is your guys' passive perception?
8!
11.
15.
22.
50.
Hey!
22. Wow.
What?
22.
Nice.
How? Oh, jeez.
This is where I shine.
Want to take all? No, I don't. Need it.
I mean, with that passive perception, you probably also notice if someone tries to steal from
Mhm.
Brett.
Do you know that child, Red? And she points at the child right next to her.
He just took all your money
I need to roll my.
and your pants.
And the worst
Look,
part, your
pants,
hat.
your loot, your coin.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a butt bucket on
How
your
did you
head.
not notice? You're butt naked.
What is it with you with naked people, Thaf? I don't know if I like this relationship.
Yeah, it
It's
didn't
not a-
take you much after.
And then he
you
looks at the
you were
child
being
and it
choked
even
by a
steals his
naked
heart.
I know.
It's not a shapeshifter thing. My moonbeam just strips people.
Okay. Well, let's go, please.
Jesus.
I'm sorry, I don't know if it's actual. Ah.
City adventure. So you head off to the law district.
To the Emporium, yes.